for Shelly's past life. And I'll try to speak a little loud because sometimes the iPad doesn't pick it up as well. So, okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. We've got wars and battles, phobias and fears, and angels. Let's see what's going on here. Getting 14th century. Wars and battles can be any time, but getting 14th century. And I don't know my history perfectly, but let's see what's going on. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Security threatened early on, like early on. Feels like your whole family had the rug pulled out from under you. Somebody that was ferocious. It's almost like a landlord yanking the rug out from under you. Somebody ferocious that throws you guys out in the cold, your whole family. You have a rather large size family. I think your parents really actually did love each other in a good way. They weren't just together for nothing. I think they were one of those couples that do love each other. It did have the balance, but sometimes love wasn't enough, and you guys got pretty much thrown out off your land, off your whatever it was. Everything coming at you all at once, and particularly your mother was very, very impacted by this. Like, it feels like almost like you were homeless for a short period of time. Short in the long stretch of things is not so short. It could have been a year, and that's a short period of time in some regards, but you learned hunting, you learned how to manage things for yourself, you learned how to have boundaries, but you didn't feel secure in the financials. That may bleed over into this life as well. The what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, like waiting for the other shoe to drop a lot. We've got the moon, the mirror, and the vanity all at once. All of this coming up is like reflected justice in what's going on. It's like at a certain point in this difficult year, you made a vow to never be in that position again. You didn't want to see what happened to your mom and to your family happening to you. It's like we don't want to grow up and become our parents. That's the feeling right there. Big, big, big. You went about doing something performance-based that was important. I'm getting a bar. This is the Nine of Vessels. This is generosity, but it's something you did. Now, a long time ago, there was a reading that somebody had, and they were like the servant at the bar. This is being the entertainment, almost like it's the wrong stretch of time, but it's the description I know. Like when you have Old West Saloon and the saloon girl is performing, she's not the saloon girl that's hoeing. She's the saloon girl that's performing, right? That's what it feels like is going on, but in a different place, in a different time, different century. This is standing strong, really, really being dynamic in what you're doing and what you're able to do. I'm getting a stringed instrument. It's not just the bow of the hunt. It's a stringed instrument. The ability to play it, the ability to sing with it, the ability to catch the emotion of those around you. You'd play at funerals as well, summoning the guardian, summoning the death and the devil all at once. Summoning a bunch of heartache. You could play a lament. Play a lament. You would play something that was a sorrowful song that would make people cry. This is the chase. This is something you were looking for. This is wanting to go forward. It's a little bit of the grass is greener syndrome, a little bit of the chase, the hunt, always on the hunt, always moving forward. Kind of became a rolling stone. You did not become very grounded. You were moving. Seven of Cups, something always looking a little bit better. Something looking a little bit different always. The phobia is not a bad phobia, like feeling like the rug's going to be pulled out from under you. I don't know if that's exactly the phobia, but that's what the fear was, and it carried through here. It's probably carrying through now. The angels here are to try and let you know that you have more support than what you think you have. Back in this time, they were helping you get to your creative gifts, get to the place that you need to get. So you would actually literally have food to eat. You'd have the ability to provide. You wouldn't feel like you were impoverished, but still, it's like the balm of the angels, the salve, the ointment, didn't quite take effect as much as you would hope. I think it's just you were too young when this happened. Very young. Seven of Stones, healing in the journey. This is just discussing what I've told you. Let me look a little more. The rolling stone, the migrational path, the way you followed the weather. You would go where the climate was more temperate, but you'd also follow the work, and not always did it work out that you could be in the temperate climate. Sometimes you couldn't. Your teacher died. I need to know who the teacher was. I don't know if it was a parent or an other. It feels like an other. Somebody who taught you something about this skill that you used. About the gift that you used.
But it's weird, like you're talking about my husband and how he was.
Maybe so. We come up in different past lives experiencing similar people, similar roles, similar lessons, till the lesson is learned. But your teacher died. When you were feeling stuck, when you were young and you couldn't see your way clear of things, you encountered this person. This does feel like a male teacher. It does not feel like a father, a familial person here. This person passes on before you. That's part of the reason that you travel a little more independently. You have a little bit of a gift of coin from this person, but not huge. Small. The true gift was your skill in what you did, the laments. It's not so much that you were the official bard, but you knew how to do that kind of work. And it was a lament that you sang about. The heart that ached and the things that still clung to you that you couldn't reveal all the time, you would reveal in the music. That is where you would let your true feelings show through. And they could take it as just a song, but as when you were your most vulnerable and most authentic self, was when you were lost in that music. Sometimes you would go to parties. Sometimes you would go to big gatherings. There's a desire for you, even though you could go do this and go perform, part of you wanted to withdraw. Part of you felt like if you stayed one place too long, you'd have something taken. So you would end something before it began. Sometimes travel alone rather than in the wolf pack. There was a loneliness that inhabited your heart because of this. It feels like for a while you were very separate from your mom, your siblings, your family, whatever. They may have moved too, but when you came of the age that you could travel alone, you did travel alone. You were female in this life, but you had skills, like as far as going unnoticed. It's not like you have the invisibility cloak? Are you always dressed like the opposite gender? But you know how to go unseen. You know how to bulk up, layer up, put on scarves, make yourself fatter than what you were. Age the face. To the point that sometimes you put age on yourself so you could maneuver. So tired by the end of this. So tired. The truth of that was the authenticity that was you finally recognized, but you didn't recognize it till later in life. Probably mid-30s. You recognized the authenticity, but you grew tired of the travels. You went into huge avoidance about that moment that things went to shit, that things were torn down from you. You blocked out a lot of it as you went on and went on. You became a little more independent, you had more luxury, but you blocked out a lot of it. You were supposed to temper some of this. The comfort that you were supposed to get from the angels, you turned away because you became so independent, you stopped believing that there was any help on the other side. You got to be where, this is what I have, this is what I have.
That was him 100%. How he made our life and lived like a gypsy, always moving, never putting down roots.
Yeah. There's a focus on the power that you have to move forward, the power you have to travel. The illumination of spirit that you gain from it is actually good. It's a decorated horse. Not decorated like a carousel horse, but a decorated thing to be able to move in such a way. What has felt like more of a curse than a blessing is actually, in this time, perhaps been a bigger blessing, and perhaps the lesson is taught to you by him. But these are all lessons that are super familiar. You could have played the other, an opposite role. It could be that in the past, he was mentor, teacher, and in this role, you had more solidity, more of the desire to stay put than he did. But it's a contract. It's a on the go. There's still fear and phobias. They're still on the run, try something new. The grass is always greener is in both of your systems, not just the one. How do you get grounded in either life? You double up. You double up. You both are learning the same thing here. Definitely parts of the heart. Same thing, same thing. If you repeated this in some life, you might repeat this as a sibling. In other lives, you would repeat this as love. But there was an agreement. You would know your roles very clearly in each of these lives. But the two of you going through. It does feel that twin flame energy. It does feel there. The showgirl's coming up again. The doors and the difficulty pushing through and the pleading, trying to break something open. The leisure and luxury. Trying to get the keys to break open this big door, to crack things wide to a bigger, more traditional way of doing. You want the tradition, you want the security, you want things to be a little bit different. You finally are getting where you have the keys to have things be more stable. The keys up here, the keys in here. The out in the cold isn't where you be inside where it's secure. It's like a truth that you need to speak, to honor, to admit that this is how it's gone and understand your role in this. However, the binding, the life force, the part of what connects you together, it's not going to be unconnected just because you speak of this and try and get this conquered in this life. Doesn't mean that he's finished learning. It might be next go around you get the flip side of this, but a higher octave, a different element. You get less moves, more security, but still moves that are difficult. The reliance on the tradition and the establishment will still come through. It's a challenge to you. Part of it is because the free nature of the combination of you, There is a wild and untamed energy about it that wants to be free of convention. Shake off the shackles that when you see stupid rules and conventions that don't serve, you see them. You want to shake those off.
It was us against the world.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And will be again, and will be again, and will be again. Sneak peek? Okay. Sneak peek. I'm getting the number 3. This is sneak peek, 3 lives out. That means future. Not often do I get past life that goes to future. We're in now. I'm talking future, future, future. The solo lesson you get in the minors, the hermit lesson, the overcoming and leaving the rough waters, there will be discord, there will be challenges. Each of you will find each other, but you'll find each other later on. You'll be traveling alone for a little bit. One of you with a little bit more age on you than the other. This is the mini of this card. There'll be rough waters. There'll be difficulties. Knowledge that's tricky. Battles fought by one of you. And reward that comes in. A sitting still energy. A sitting still to honor a craft. Honor something that is of value that builds up. But it's honoring home front here. Burying something. This is something you'll discover. This is a trip. This is like double of something. So if we're going 3 ahead, this is throwing back and double. So this is like, you've got the 3 and the 2 mentioned. The very next life, you might not have this, but the second life, you'll bury something for you to find in your third. You'll recognize it. You'll have stood strong enough. You'll see it as in the distance. You'll know. You'll know. You'll know. You'll have to cross water to go over towards this. You'll have to cross water, but you'll see the gift of it. You'll see the gift of it. So in this third one, future, future, you're going to find something that you have home front, that you've figured it out. However, in order to achieve this, you're going to have to discover this. I think you're going to have to travel to a different continent to reclaim something that was there. That's what I've got. That is a trip, and I'm going no further. Yeah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Trust your angels on this. Call on them a little bit more. They wouldn't mind it. Your fear can be soothed. It might not conquer things. It might not change things. But there's a balm with the angels, the balm of Gilead, the healing ointment that the angels offer. The shelter and protection is there more than you choose to call. So you feel like you're in lack because you don't call on the divine, or you don't trust the divine because of some of this shit. Trust the divine a little more. Give yourself that shelter in the storm. It's not all meant to be storms and hardship. That's what I got for you. That's beautiful. Wow. Very beautiful. Yeah.
She said, wow, thank you, wow.
You're welcome. And phenomenal reading. Wow, wow, wow. Indeed.